So, ramai yang tanya pasal COVID ni regarding the COVID-19 vaccinations. Although COVID is no longer a pandemic, but especially with the latest situation, especially considering that some 8.5 million vaccine doses reached expiry by June 1st this year. How prepared do you think our country is to handle another pandemic? Touch wood lah kan. But how prepared is the country?
Okay, if you say how prepared, we are always prepared. Especially learning from pandemic. I mean, preparedness is always something like to do in terms of, as I said earlier, manpower, equipments, all the medical supplies. Of course, now we also looking at we are working with MOSTI to look at development of vaccines. And then, of course, we're also working with the international bodies, the regional international bodies, WHO, and the regional ASEAN, in terms of maybe say like procurement and whatnot for the medication and whatnot. So we're looking at that as well. So I think in terms of readiness, even at currently, we are still monitoring the cases of COVID by using our CPRC lah. Though we don't say that we are endemic, but we are in the transitions of that. But WHO give actually the leeway to the country to really whether they really wanted to end up the pandemic status or whatnot. But we are still looking at it. And hopefully lah, we will be reviewing perhaps I think early next year, whether we should continue our what is that we call kawalan tempatan jangkitan tempatan. If we end it, then our of course Malaysia can go into and can be pronounced as endemic areas lah. So I mean again when you ask me about preparedness, I think at this level we'll say that we are quite ready. But of course, in terms of developments of vaccines and medication, of course, we are still in the process. I would say quite infancy on that. Yeah, but it's ongoing. Yeah.
Right. What do you mention about the the development of vaccines? Looking with MOSTI and as well as the procurement of medication. So we know that countries are already moving towards the annual COVID vaccination this year, but Malaysia hasn't gotten last year's bivalent vaccine, even though it was previously announced that we would get 2.7 million doses of those as replacements to the older vaccines that were near their expiry date. So what is the cause of all the delay, and is it because it's still there's a bit of traffic jam with the Attorney General's chambers?
Okay, this is quite a sensitive, not to say sensitive question lah, but then I think okay, we are actually working closely with also WHO, so looking at the development of the COVID, as I said earlier, development of COVID, we are actually towards ending, so now even world are talking about monovalent vaccines and no more on bivalent vaccines, so there is always updates. And then even the subvariants of the virus itself, has been like so far has been quite dormant in the sense that it is still no new variant, but it's always a subvariants of this Omicron currently, and it's now the current, if I'm not mistaken, is XBB 1.5, so it's still Omicron. So the need of the bivalent, as you asked me, is actually not urgent. Not really, yeah.
There are many people who are not convinced. Is there a way we can educate them ahead of the next pandemic?
We are actually continuously educating our public. They have to understand, what happened in pandemic is actually is unprecedented. Situations globally. It's not only Malaysia, it's globally. So, but at that time, we also based on science, So that's why the vaccine came in, and we can see that why it happens that what we are now, we are out of pandemic. I would say it is because of vaccine. Of course, there are other measures that we take lah, you know, by understanding the character of COVID-19. But at the end of it, we have to you know, at least recall, not to say to understand, but to make ourselves understand that it's actually the use of vaccines is actually helping us. When we achieve the 80% herd immunity, remember that at that time we use a herd immunity, kan, 80%. So that's where actually we are moving towards, moving out from the pandemic COVID-19. So I think, of course, we do not make it mandatory, you know, but we encourage people, and science told us that, you know, and it's not something that we just pick up from somewhere, you know, but it is based science. So I think, but still I think we give the education, but it's still up to the people to choose. We have to give them informed choice lah, of course, yeah.
Because I don't know, there's still people who say, oh,
Yeah,
I'm stuck
yeah.
here and that's because of my booster. I cannot walk.
AEFI is there,
Ah.
of course. There is side effects, you know. I wouldn't say that it's 100%, but there are some people. But like myself, I don't have any side effects. There are a lot of people who don't have any side effects, but there are some people with side effects, you know. And there are some people with severe side effects. There are. We don't say that it is 100% or no side effects. I mean, so this is where I think again. As I said earlier, you know, if we don't take vaccines at that time, perhaps we are not what we are now. You know, the economy, we have to think about, you know, effect of economy, effect of mental illness, effect of many things because of pandemic COVID-19.